Mrs. Jimmy Carter this morning in San Francisco. The campaign fundraiser originally was scheduled to feature President Carter, but he's decided to forego campaigning temporarily because of the situation over in the Middle East, especially Iran and Afghanistan. So Rosalynn was there. The First Lady told the gathering that her husband is doing everything humanly possible to obtain the safe release of the 50 hostages in Tehran. Mrs. Carter also said the President will do everything possible to avoid military acts in the Middle East and to keep the peace throughout the world. However, demonstrators outside neither heard that nor wanted to hear it. They were outside the St. Francis Hotel holding up signs protesting Carter's plan to reinstitute registration for the draft, while the First Lady spoke inside. Ben?
While we were on that, the draft registration reinstitution reaction is really pouring into President Carter's proposal tonight. The plan submitted to Congress today, as expected, calls for registration of both men and women. Here's the way it will work. Men and women who will be 19 this year or are 19 or 20 now will be asked to go and register. Those who turn 19 next year will be registered at that time. This year's registration would create a pool of 18 million, with 4 million more added next year. Now, tonight, women's groups are saying they're opposed to the idea of a peacetime draft at all, and the San Francisco president of NOW told Newscene's Dorothy Reed that women are being kept out of the volunteer army.
You're going to get a picture of her on the news?
We feel that registration is premature right now, that the only difference that it would make would be a few days if the draft were to be implemented. But what we are saying primarily is that there is a volunteer system. We're not against that. If women were admitted to that on a 50-50 basis, which they certainly are not, or at least on an equal basis, so that if people are qualified, they go in, then we feel that there would be sufficient people power in the military right now so that there would not be the necessity of having the draft.
Well, the pressure against the registration plan is already being felt very heavy on Capitol Hill in Washington. Most lawmakers saying tonight if Carter's plan is approved at all, it's going to be approved without the registration of American women. In the wake of the president's draft registration proposals, a lot of reactions, both pro and con, are coming in, but one of the most unusual about a woman who wanted to enlist and was turned down. She says her reasons are right and the military's reasons are wrong. Newscene's Ken Matz has been on the story and has late details.
This is the story of a grandmother who says she wants to be a United States Marine. Marianne Tong first became known to us by this letter that she sent to the President of the United States, 2 senators, a congressman, 2 newspapers, and Channel 7. The letter complains about age discrimination. Age stands in her way for anything. With her children grown, she set off to get an education, and she's presently attending classes at UCBerkeley. The problem came with a burst of patriotism. With all the talk about the new registration for the draft, Marianne had an idea.
And I heard the speech, and there was a great depression that went over all the other girls. And the mood changed around here. And so I thought, well, I'll see what I can do. There's usually some kind of idea I can come up with. And I thought, why not me? Really, basically. So I went and tried to enlist.
Marianne says she knows the horror of war. She was born in 1937 in Nazi Germany. She remembers the bombs falling. But when she tried to sign up, this man, Captain Patrick Mullen, the Marine recruiter in Alameda County, politely turned her down. She was too old. I asked her what her age was, and she told me that she was 46 years old. By Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the age requirements are from 17 to age 35. So based on that, she wasn't qualified to come into the Marine Corps. She asked me what could she do to show that she was glad to be an American. I told her that she could be a good mother, raise her kids well, give them a lot of love, make them good citizens, and in that way she'd be helping her country. Marianne asked Captain Mullen to put it in writing. He did, saying in part, we should have recruited her a few years ago. Marianne says she's going to wait an answer from the president and the congressman. She says she might consider legal action to get her into the Marines. She says it's unfair to use a birth certificate to decide anything. In Berkeley, Ken Matz, Channel 7 News Scene.
Is it ageism? Well, Marianne Tong thinks so tonight. What does she do now? Maybe go to court with her family's approval and the public support. She says she's already gone to the president.